What is up? We are back today, baby. This is Issue 1 Podcast. Corey, what do we want this Wednesday?
Fear. We want to see scary in movies. There's not enough scary in movies, is there?
There is not enough scary in movies, and we're going to take a little bit of a dive into that. Corey, tell us, what are some superhero movies that have some spooky elements?
It's a good question, Ben, because this is going to be an easy question to answer, because they are so few and far between.
Yeah.
Really not that hard. So, when I think of scary, right, I think of some of the elements from The Batman. Of course, I'm going to bring up that fucking movie. Like with stuff with the Riddler, a Zodiac-style murder mystery. We have Brightburn, an evil little child who's basically has the same origin as Superman did, except this time he goes crazy, as Clark probably should have in Man of Steel. From there, we have, like, Watchmen. I think it has some elements that are kind of creepy.
Oh, yeah.
Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness. I don't think it's really a creepy movie.
It has creepy elements. But we're going to get into, did it work or didn't it work? What characters exactly do we want to start seeing in these superhero movies?
Well, that depends, Ben. Are we talking Marvel or are we talking DC?
Let's talk Marvel first.
Doctor Doom is an easy pick for me. He can be a bit hammy and a little cheesy sometimes.
I got a revolver!
The Hobgoblin. I want him to be 30 times more scary than the Green Goblin.
So do you think it's going to be Ned?
Probably not.
I want to get a little bit into what characters I want to see into DC.
Let me know what you
Mainly,
think,
just Bane.
Mainly just Bane.
What we have for the other ones, Corey has put down, and I do not really know them. I'm not very familiar. However, Bane, I really want to see him again. Probably, if we're going to see him at all, I want to see him in the Batman 3. I honestly don't expect him to be in the Batman.
Probably not.
Probably not. Hurts my feelings.
It does. Which, speaking of the Batman, that brings me to the Court of Owls. That is something that I could see happening in the Batman too. Because really the Court of Owls, they're ingrained so deeply in the history of Gotham. They're hiding in the sewers. They're hiding in on, different levels of floors that shouldn't exist, and they don't exist on the blueprints, but you find out they got a little secret hideout in Wayne Tower and whatever. They're basically just a creepy cult of the rich elitists who have these undead but also dead owl assassin guys that they wear some creepy outfits and they go out and they murder people. I think Brother Blood is another character that I would like to see put to the freaky side of the magic of the silver screen, if you will, Ben. But the problem with that is they're in Titans now, and it's bad. It's really fucking bad. But another character I'd like to see is the Etrigan the Demon. Real name Jason Blood. He's somebody who works with the Dark Justice League. He's a superhero, but he kind of like hulks out. Like he doesn't really know what happens when he becomes Etrigan the Demon. Okay. So yeah, that's just another creepy demon character.
We need stalking. Like stalking villains. And that's where I come back to Bane again.
Yep.
In Nightfall, that's pretty much what he does the entire time until he confronts Batman.
Yeah.
He's stalking Batman, and it makes it very eerie. He's got a creepy look. He's a big, muscly man with venom shooting in his veins.
Yeah.
Like, let's get the grotesque, like I want to see Venom, just...
That's what I'm saying. I want to see Andrew Tate on top of a building shooting up heroin and stalking somebody.
Exactly.
That's what I want to see.
He literally has binoculars in a panel, and he's, just watching. Riddler did that great in the Batman.
Yep. For sure.
The very opening scene is him stalking, what was it, the mayor? The mayor. And...
it worked out great.
It got me in the mood, creeped me out. I want to see more of that.
So beyond that, we have some other elements that we want to talk about, like the composer, the score. Who should do it? Personally, I favor Mike Abels. He's probably my favorite horror composer. I'm a big fan of Jordan Peele, who we'll get to in a second. But just the score he brings to Nope and Us specifically. I listen to these on a daily basis, even though they're kind of creepy, and it makes me look like a psycho. They're just so good, I just want to listen to them anyway. The Newton Brothers, Haunting of Hill House and Bly Manor, absolutely knocked it out of the park. Hildur Guðnadóttir, I'm sure that's wrong, but fuck off. She did the score for Joker. She's absolutely amazing, but some elements of that score is kind of creepy. I mean, do you agree?
Oh yeah.
And then if we do something more scary that's like post-apocalyptic, who better than Marco Beltrami? I mean, he did the score for both of the A Quiet Place movies, and he did Logan. So he's fantastic. He's absolutely your guy if that's the kind of tone that you want. So yeah, I think as far as
I had another one on that. Who was the guy that did Hereditary? Colin Stetson. I would love to hear him put in his work on a superhero film. I think that would be very eerie and creepy.
What do those scores typically sound like, Ben? Do you have a certain sound in your head? That's it. That's exactly what we wanted to see. Thank you very much. Last but not least, what else do we have to talk about, Ben?
What directors do we want to see?
Directors, that's very important. Well, first of all, James Wan. I know he's already in DC. He did Aquaman. That trench scene, that's another scene that I think actually had some decent horror elements to it. Whenever it's rainy, there's lightning, and there's these creepy creatures coming out of the water. I don't get creeped out by that kind of thing, but it does give you such an eerie vibe, and the way they grab that flare, and they're diving deep under sea level, and it's fantastic. David F. Sandberg directed Shazam. Obviously, there's some horror elements in it a little bit, but it's really a lighthearted kind of movie. He also did Lights Out, and he did Annabelle. Absolutely amazing choice for horror movie direction with somebody who's also worked in superhero stuff. Same with James Wan. Lee Wanell, absolutely amazing. The Invisible Man. That is somebody that you're going to want to get whenever it comes to putting an actual cinematic touch in a movie. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like some superhero movies, I mean, not to be this dick, they don't really feel like films sometimes.
It's very not cinematic half the time.
No, yeah. So not cinema, as they say. And last but not least, I don't know how you guys are going to feel about this, but I absolutely would love to see Jordan Peele do something like horror, superhero elementy. Because if you think about Nope, there are parts to that creep me out and kind of scare me a little bit.
Yeah.
But that movie is also very funny, and there's a lot of tense action to it. The way that they're, riding bikes and doing the Akira slide, the same time that there's a giant alien ship that's covering the entire surface of a house. Who the fuck was that? Covering the entire surface of a house, and it's raining down blood, and oh my god, it's so creepy.
We don't really want funny much anymore. We want to get into the more rated R type of side of superhero films.
Yeah, and there's a way to make comedy work in movies that are not comedical, and it works. I'm going to go back to that movie that I've never talked about before, The Batman. There's a lot of comedy in that movie, but you kind of just have to find it in some of the crappier not crappier areas of the movie.
It's
but
ironic.
It's ironic. It's a crappy world to live in. Yeah. So whenever Batman gives a little bit of sass, it just works out, for the best.